Welcome to the Manders Mindset podcast. Here you'll find both monologue and interviews of entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, and a variety of other people, where your host Amanda Russo will discuss her own mindset and perspective and her guest mindset and perspective on the world around us. Manders and her guests will help explain to you how shifting your mindset will shift your life.
Welcome to Manders Mindset, where we explore the power of shifting your mindset to shift your life. As always, I'm your host, Amanda Russo, and I am so excited to be here with Aisha. And she is a Mongolian-born artist, engineer, and entrepreneur whose journey began as an orphan in Russia and led her across 70-plus countries. She's co-founded a property business in Portugal, launched art and crypto events, and even sent her artwork to space. Now, based in New York, Aisha bridges art and tech to inspire transformation in both the real and digital world. And I am so excited to speak with her. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Amanda, for having me today. I'm listening to what I have done already so far in my life. Wow, I have done amazing things. And if I can say I published the book that called Joyful Living Guidebook. It's amazing how far we can go, right? When we have ideas and dreams.
That is true. It is amazing how far we can go. And now you have done a lot of amazing things, but who would you say Aisha is at the core?
I would just wonder. I look at myself as I'm their spirit. And I'm just wander around and I'm just curious and learn. And I'm just looking at the world as this playground with so much to do. And I get overwhelmed at how much we can create by being here. And I trust that I can have time for all of it. And every time when I'm thinking about kids, that believe in the same time that we do, adults. And I'm just if I would come back, be a kid again, so how much you can create actually in one day. That's gonna look myself as a wonder, joyful wonder, something like that.
Have you always been this wanderer, joyful person?
Yes, I've been like this all my life as far as I remember myself. And I'm very also empath, so I feel other people very much what they feel. And I didn't that time. I didn't work on my boundaries, on my own bubble of protection of this. And when I started to work on that, I realized that I don't need to take myself because I have these moments of isolation to recharge myself. And sometimes it's been a long months of isolation. And now I said to myself, I'm living in my joyful bubble. And I'm always I know how to manage and communicate with the world and say no when I know it's not my feelings or my emotions. So I've done a lot of work on that part of my life because as an empath, it's not easy when you feel all type of the energies that's coming through you. And it's not easy to understand what is yours, what is not yours. That's why I learned through my own experience how to create this joyful bubble and just be in this joyful bubble myself. And invite people, of course, when they want to be in this joyful bubble, they get to be in this joyful bubble with me. And I understood many people have up and downs with their emotions, and it's not easy for them to stay in the joyful bubble all the time. And I just telling them, listen to your own words. Stop to gossip. Start to live. Because many people spend a lot of time on gossiping and they haven't done anything in their life and they just like to continue to gossip. And I used to say, I don't have time for that. I have so much to do. I have so much to live. I'm getting very angry, I would say sometimes, with people gossiping too much That's why I just used to say to the people, get life. Stop to do that to yourself.
I like that comment. Get life.
Exactly. When you
No,
have life, don't do that. They don't have time for that.
no, I get that completely. Can you take us down memory lane a little bit? Tell us about your upbringing growing up as an orphan in Russia. If you remember that, whatever you remember about that.
When my mother abandoned me, I was like around 2 years old. And of course, in the beginning, I was like always looking for her. I was crying. And one day I was asking close for love and attention from adults. And one day I just realized that I had so many other kids who's fighting. I just do like, I get to fight all the time with other kids for that attention. And one day I just kind of said to myself, okay, I created my own world and I just go and live it. And I started to wonder, I started to explore outside of the neighborhood, like just going outside of the building, running away because it was yard around. So I always find a way to escape. And in the beginning, I was always like, catch. And one day I said to myself, it doesn't matter how far I will go, I will be catched anyway. And these people will bring me back. And I've been punished every time. So I didn't like the way of punishment. And so one day I was feeling like it doesn't matter if I will be far away or just be like nearby, I will be punished anyway. So would I continue to go and explore? And I did. It doesn't matter how much punishment I would get. I was so stubborn and so like dedicated, I would say, or committed to go and explore. And one day, like some kids was telling me like, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. Take me with you. And I started to think,
About how old were you? About how old were you when you were
I was
exploring?
like maybe like a 4 or 5. I don't know, maybe. I started to run away when I was around 3. And like after that, I started to be way more, I would say, independent in my own. I didn't have so many like friends. I had people I hang out with, I call it like this. I not like a deep friendships. I didn't connect with anyone on a deep level that I can call friend, or it's my like best friend, or it's my best buddy or sister or something like that. So one, like I started to take these kids out and kids started to cry and I want to go back. Take me back. And I'm like, and second time when the people ask me, kids asking me again, I was telling them, listen, I'm not going to take you back. You get to find your own way. And if you started to cry, you better don't go. I was very straight to the point. And I already knew which kids I can take with me, which kids I don't want to take with me. And I communicated it very direct to them. And sometimes I had the conflicts and fights and all of that kids do. So I've been like natural leader from the beginning of my life and always been like direct with my communication. And I didn't feel that way I want to belong. And when I became a teenager, I started to feel strong feeling of belonging. I want to belong to the group. And I started to look what group I want to belong to. And the groups I want to belong to, they didn't worth me. At school, for example, I had some like a group of kids that I would hang out with, and they were like always bullying me or call me names. And it's always been this like a game of me, like protecting me. And I couldn't figuring out how I can communicate with them or play with them in that kind of mind game. So I connected with not good kids, street kids. And I started to do things that was not good. I just wanted to belong and I didn't look at it as it was not good. But for society and the consequences of it was not good. And that was actually was good for me because I stopped to go to the school for a while. And even so, I was very good at school, leader of the class for several years. And when I ended up in this company, I stopped to go to the school. I started to drink a lot, get into some troubles, big troubles. One day, one of my friends running away from the police and died. The people like started to die. And when they were even like 17, not even, they were a little bit older than me. And then one day I was sitting there and I was like, oh my gosh, would I survive until 80? Would I be still alive? What I want to do? What dreams I want to live? Because I always want to dream, I always dream to travel around the world. And I have these ideas of traveling around the world. And this like facing the death in that time of my life, in early age, I was 15. So I created around about 14, 15. I created this idea of me, who I am until I'm 60. Now I have already who I'm going to be until I'm 200. And I'm trying to extend it until to 400 anyway. At that time, when I was about almost like a 14, 15, I was feeling like 60 years old. It's a long life. It's such a long life. So I started to create, I'm going to travel between 20 to 30. I'm going to be a businesswoman between 30 to 40. I'm going to be mentor between 40 to 50. And I'm going to be a volunteer of UNESCO and UN between 50 to 60. And after I just die. Something like that. But it's enough. I'm done like good job for the community of I've lived my life. And now when I'm thinking about it, it's funny, of course. But like when you're there alone and your friends is dying and from different accidents, you started to think what you have, with the tools that you have, with that mind in that moment you have, right? Because you haven't traveled, you just explore your neighborhood, you maybe explore a little bit around your region, but you haven't been traveling around the country, so learning other languages and being and extended to the next level. So I finished the school, I went to the university, and I started to travel, hitchhike. Especially I was hitchhiking, or I was ended up in a hitchhiking club. And after one day, we went to Moscow, to the capital. I loved the capital. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so big, it's huge, it's so scary. I would live in such a big city because where I would live in that time was a small city compared to the capital. And I moved there because I said, if I want to travel around the world, I get to move to the capital. It's opened me more opportunities for travels. And eventually I did it. It was, of course, the different things I get to think through. Because I was a natural leader, I was creating different forums, different events at university. I was again leader of my class, organizing a lot of things, making things happen. And I started to go to the orphan house because when I've been an orphan, I want to have an adult who's coming to talk to us, to bring like a tea or cake, to share with us and share a conversation, who can care about us. And I started to be that person when I get older, like adult, and got my, let's say, life in the university. And it's turned around so fast that we created nonprofit and been like a whole journey in such a short amount of the time. And I moved to Moscow eventually because of my leadership skills. They transferred me to Moscow. And from Moscow, 6 months later, I applied for the exchange student to Norway. It was just not Norway, it was other universities. And I've been selected when I moved to Norway. And my friends was like, you just moved to Moscow. You shouldn't go so far away. And I said, listen, it's just 1 year program. I will be back. No worries. If I don't like it, I will be back. And I didn't. I was in love with Norway. I started to travel around the world. It was so easy to travel. And I was just like, don't want to go back. Russia is so bad.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you real quick? Now, how did you develop this mindset, I want to say, of if you don't like it, you'll go back?
I don't know. I was just kind of like thinking, if I don't like it, I will feel scared because it's just exploration. I think because of my childhood, when I was like going exploring, even so, I've been punished. I still have this stubbornness in me because I love to explore alone, actually, many, many hundreds of the times, thousands of the times. I did so many solo trips around the world, like many places. And for me, I didn't consider myself like as a woman. And then people said, oh, you're a woman, you're a beautiful woman. And then, how does it, you're doing so many solo trips. How does it actually possible? How can you manage to do that? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just looking at everything as a family. And I look at this everything like a we. Everything is the wholeness, oneness. I don't know how to explain it. This is how I feel and this is how I look at it. And I feel like this world around me, especially when I left my little town, I just feel like everywhere and anywhere I go, it's like family. People meeting you with a smile and just hugs and giving me a good meal and good place to stay. And I just love it because when I started to hitchhike, I know so many things, like people really helping you in so many magical and beautiful ways that you cannot even imagine. The people give you money, people give you clothes, people give you. I didn't have in my environment when I grew up. I didn't have like my room or my clothes, my toys. I got to always share with other kids. Like I never have this word like mine. It's always been ours. So it's kind of a different perspective when I moved to Norway. I started to experience this mine because I got my room and my toys, my clothes. So for me, it was weird because I always share. And here I am living alone. Like I was living alone in Russia as well a little bit, but like when I was sharing in a student residency and here I am like having my own spot, traveling, having my own so many clothes that I never ever when I was living in Russia had. And so many shoes, so many bags, whatever. Got my car. So for me, it was like process of exploring a new reality, what is mine. And even so, I didn't feel it. I always shared. I was like, okay, I don't have that. The thing is, that's probably switch. Like, that's kind of like the probably different between of being abundance or being scary of living. Because in my case, when I was a child, I always explore going so many places by myself. So when I'm exploring the world right now, I go to so many places by myself. I don't know. I just feeling like I just go somewhere I haven't been, and it's so my family's there, my other family that I haven't met yet, or something like that's kind of in my mind. And people like look at me, I'm a little bit crazy. And I'm saying like, I don't know what's cool, what's crazy sometimes. I don't know. And like the reality is people have these ideas of protecting themselves. And I feel we don't need to be protected. We're always protected. We get to be curious and learn about new cultures, about new countries, about new people. It's a curiosity, a key. Adapting it to other key. Curiosity, it's something very beautiful. People haven't looked into that because as a kid, you're always curious. You're always asking questions. You're always present in the moment. You don't have yesterday, tomorrow. You're just having now. And I feel like more we access the curiosity and again be so present in the moment and learn to listen carefully and play. Really, just be playful. Don't think about outcome or expectations or attachments. Just play as a kid do. Kids just play because they want to play. They don't think about what I will get from that, what I like. They always just do things because they're just having fun in the moment. They fight with each other in the moment. And after they ask you forgiveness in the moment, everything happens so fast in their life. They don't even think like, why I fight with that person, why I fight with that kid. Everything is in the moment. Adults doing so much, spending so much time when they fight. It takes them weeks or months to go and ask for forgiveness. So sometimes years. At first, we get to learn how to forgive ourselves. And kids doing so easy, so fast because they just like to play. They just like, I like to play with you. Please forgive me, give me a hug. I love you. And we just continue. Let's go to play. That's it.
Yeah.
So
No.
for me, I'm learning a lot.
You're learning a lot from what?
They're great. from kids, from children.
Yeah. No, I like how you mentioned so many people are protecting themselves and but I feel like they're not allowing themselves to fully live. I understand like the mindset of protecting yourself and there's certain things of realisticness, whatever. I'm thinking in terms of the solo travel. We're recording this as I'm getting ready to go on a solo trip myself. And as a woman, I'm sure you've heard a lot of stuff about solo traveling. Like I'm leaving the country for a month by myself, traveling to Bali. And so many people are like, oh my God, I could never do that as a woman. And I understand the fear, but like, I'd rather face a little bit of fear and do this than look back at 60 or 70, 80 and be like, man, I wish I would have faced a little bit of nerves and did the thing.
I've been in Bali is very safe, super safe for women. And it's such a magical place, and it's so many beautiful, magical things there. You will learn so many things. And plus, when you come back, you'll be completely different human being than you were before. So don't listen to the people. Listen to your heart. In the end of the day, we are our best friend. We are here to live our best life that we imagine for ourselves. Nobody else would do it for us. We get to do it for ourselves. Nobody will stop us. We do it. That's why the most important in life is to understand and get clarity what we would like to create and why. Just enjoy. That's how I look at it. It's like life is full of adventure, and I'm just feeling so joyful and so happy to live and be here in the planet Earth. And I look at myself and I look at people as a winners. So we're here to win. At being in the planet Earth is already winning. To experience things we experience is already winning. And when we started to look at ourselves as a winners, instead look at ourselves as a victims, it's completely different perspective. So I'm inviting people every time to live as a person.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious, do you have suggestions for people to embody the childlike joy and the childlike wonder more than they are?
I'm inviting people to get clarity on what is joyful for them, what it is to be a joyful human being. Get clarity and vision on that. Started practice day by day. Because but practice is habits, right? Become our actions and our habits. So always be aware what you create and what you communicate with the world. That is something as anything else. Same she is anything else. It's like it. So it's here to learn and experience things and enjoy them. We have this one line, as I used to say, it's our goal, it's our choice, a joyful life.
That's so true. No, it's completely true that we have one life. And I love how you mentioned clarity on what is joyful to them. Like everybody's different, like in what brings me joy versus what brings you joy versus what brings somebody else listening to us joy. It might all be different. Like I went to Bali a year ago and I'm going back, and so many people are like, why are you going to Bali again? I want to go to Bali again. Like it brought me a lot of joy. So whatever the thing is for you, like maybe traveling to different countries isn't your thing. Try something, whether it's an activity, a hobby, whatever. You don't know how you enjoy something until you do it. I'm thinking of just different activities, but if you don't ever try it, you won't ever know. Even like back to what you said, like we don't know what we don't know. Like we don't know what we enjoy if we never do it.
Exactly. You continue to live in your city and be attached to your family, your friends, dogs, whatever. It's just that you never will get the life there for you. And again, it's a choice. I'm feeling like people let it go next. Or many people here be go to the next city. Well, I'm not human they say to go on the country, but valley. Never like a whole journey of that. I don't know if they will actually do it one day. 99% people, they don't do it things. They change, They need a situation like a pool or something get to happen. I think this to shake, something get to shake them so that they can actually start to do something with it. It's always getting so many excuses and affecting change.
No, that's really true. That's true.
So I used to say, just stop the victim wheel. Like, stop with all these excuses. Things, solutions, please. To surrender. And I'm like, oh, we'll be doing my best to communicate as possible about basic principles. And people like to gossip. People like to bring a lot of excuses. They don't want to do anything. They're always blaming you about what's happening in their life. You say, oh, it's because of you feeling like this. Oh, because of you, you make me feel like this. No, I didn't have made anything. You creating a project things on me. I'm just many things. Like mirror, look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? I'm asking people like, what do you see in your mirror? You see someone that you proud of? Do you see someone like what proud of? I was feeling like to be me, choose to be miserable instead to choose to be successful. It's all the same thing, but it changes the perspective. So box below. When people don't understand that it's about mindset. Mindset is very powerful. Just practicing with a meditation, switch your life. Practicing with chant and switch your life. Walking in the mornings, switch your life. Like just doing something different, just one habit, add just one thing into your life. 30 minutes to switch your life. Just intentional. Like intention to switch your life. Get grounding in the get more clarity. Many people don't even come to this level of awareness and the sadness. And I can't do anything. I said to myself, I can't even opening. I cannot do that because I get help myself first. I'm here to please myself first. I cannot please other people. I am a pleaser of people pleaser at the same time. Enough is enough. I cannot anymore stand the time of dragging people up when they went down. Why? Why am I myself in again and again? Don't want to do that anymore. And when I see people drag me down, I don't want to be around these people. That's it. I'm very clear about that. Because don't deal with people next to God who likes to be miserable, excuses all the time. You don't deal with. And I'm so tired with my life. I said, listen, you have one life. It's your choice. It's your call. Are you continuing to be like this and drag other people around you down? And you don't notice. People don't even notice that. They don't even see that blaming other people about whatever is happening in their life. That's the sad part. Similar to why people be bad to themselves. They don't know why. Also sad part. They don't even ask the question that we do. Because we want to know. Many people don't.
Yeah. I like how you mentioned You being intentional and switching even one little thing, whether it's a meditation, whether it's going for a walk. And I like how you mentioned both of them. People have mixed opinions on the word meditation. Even you don't have to be sitting like cross-legged like Buddha. But I think both of those to me like resonated getting quiet. Like we're such a distracted world, whether it's our phones, like technology. We're always hearing something, looking at something, viewing something. Like even if it's not a 30-minute walk, even if it's a 10-minute walk, like without your phone, meditating, closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths. Doesn't have to be a very specific way that you do it. Like quieting the external world a little bit can help you get clearer and figure out what it is that you're actually looking for. I think it's very difficult for people to know because the outside world is so noisy. Like we have all these notifications, we have emails, we have texts, we have calls, like we have social media, we have constant distraction. We have our family, we have all of these things that even if it's a little bit of time, quieting all of that will help us figure out what we want. If our minds aren't shutting off, how the hell are we going to know?
Agree. Inviting state or level of awareness. The zombies and I'm like rolling around the world. I tease the maze and one in the phone. Looking into the phone from slide to slide, like TikTok, Instagram, like another social media. Like people even like don't understand now all these dating apps, like there's so many distraction that people can't even realize how much they distract them. They stop, observe, they will see how lonely they are. They don't have any more emotional intelligence. They don't like to go emotional either. They prefer to look to the next instead to grow, instead to learn something they don't know and it's there for them. They don't understand that it's something there for them. They simply just go, why to work with that? They don't really work. No one wants to work. There are both. When I meet so many women already, like I'm one of them. We talk about when it's gonna happen, when it will happen. Some people decided to have it, but it is also still the great. You just be intentional about that. Take that responsibility. Be responsible for your choices. Yes, it's easy. Make something easy. But at the same time, you decided to do that. So take responsibility and consequences out of that. Don't be shady. Don't do the things that you're not proud of because you're feeling like, oh, it's everything to do for me. A father right now, or I'm a mother right now. Like going out with my friends. That's enough. I have. It's just and making that conscious decision that switch life. I make my conscious decision both are what I don't want her. And at the same time, I will not feel sorry about myself after 10 years or 20 years when I end up not having kids or being a single woman. It's my choice. It's my choice because it's what I choose. This is I choose me. So my choice. People don't even know is the choose to blame people or their choice that they created and make action toward these choices. That's the only it's your collaboration is we have more and more lonely people that don't even understand that like, they're lonely. You can be in marriage and be lonely. And at the same time, how we can feel more connected with each other. Because now we have the internet, we can travel around the world, we can be connected. And so it's disconnected. Why? Because of the fear? Because of what? I don't know. These things like we have this opportunity to travel, to explore, to learn languages, live absolutely anywhere in the world. If you decided one day to move to Bali, it's super easy to move to Bali and live in Bali for you. And at the same time, it's a different lifestyle. It's a completely different way of being, right? And it's like you gotta give up on your friends there. Or maybe some of your friends will come with you along the way. I meet people who like moved to Bali and they moved all their friends there, some even their family. Anything is possible. It's just a big decision. Like, and we think there's not so many people brave enough to make that decisions and to create the action towards decisions, devoting themselves all life. And I'm saying it's not for doubt. In my life, at least, I don't have time for that. I'm doing things first, and I'm dealing with consequences. So like now I'm a little bit more grounding, so every time I'm like thinking through. And when I really want to do something, I just do it. I even don't think I'm like whatever. Even I just having my $200 in my pocket, I'm like, I'm going to jump from the plane right now. I don't care. I don't care. Money will come anyway. I'm just enjoying today. This is what kids do. They don't think about how we get more money tomorrow. They're just enjoying today. And adults don't have it. This idea. It's always funny. But 2 years, mortgage, this, that, 76, that. From the end of the day, you get to enjoy. You're just one person. And I was like, as far as I'm just one person, why get to worry about the mortgage? Why get to worry about all these credits, about this and that? Yeah, like, oh, I have a choice. Especially like, I explained to because community or society wants us to do that. They don't want us to free think like a sort of a free thinkers for ourselves. They don't want us to be free.
I love how you mentioned you have no time for doubt. Like, I love that. I love that you have no time for doubt. It's true. If you want to focus on the fear, want to focus on the doubt, I believe it'll bring it more in. And it's just not going to help you. What is that going to help with? Like, I have the mindset of there's a will, there's a way. Everything's figure outable. You can figure anything out. And I agree. Society is designed to set us up to have this fear of life, of living. But we get one life. And life's the longest thing we'll do, but it's also super short. It's gonna fly by.
Very fast.
And so many people aren't brave enough to do the thing, but I'd rather face it with a little bit of nerves. Not saying that I don't have any nerves going into some things. Like when I went to Bali a year ago and I had never left the country before. So obviously there were nerves, but am I going to let the nerves stop me completely? No, I'm going to do it with the nerves. What do you mean? Like transmute it to excitement a little bit and just also recognize that it's normal. Like anything new, you're going to have a little bit of nerves, even if it's not a fearful thing. So it's like, just do it.
Yeah, that's what I used to say to the people who are saying, just do it. Because what you have to do, like, ask for support. All things you can get to know. But it's okay. Don't be attached to know. You will get your yes. You get to continue asking the solution to ask the same question. And you don't need to have just one yes. And that's it. And I used also to say what you have instead what you don't have. Because like me publishing my book, many people say, oh, you have to do it with a publisher, this and that, and then it's so expensive. And I said, yes, it is. But like the thing is, when I started to move forward, the things will come in naturally. And what's meant to be is up to me. I'm the creator. Because I don't know the way when I will do that. I just know I have to be open, flexible, and listen very carefully. And be open to learn. Be a student. Because I know. And I know that many other people have done it, went through the process, I'm not alone. But instead of doubting myself because I don't have anyone around me who have done it, no, I'm going and explore, find solution, look for the solution. Yes, maybe it takes me 1 year, maybe it takes me 2 years. I don't know. I got to continue to move forward with that idea and with the action because it inspires me. It's my passion. I feel alive by doing that. That's what matters for me. I'm not thinking like how much money we'll make out of that. I'm thinking like I'm creating the impact. It matters because it matters for me. And this is this is how I live my life. Like it matters for me in the first place. And I used to say, I'm here to please myself in the first place. When I'm creating something in the first place, I'm creating for myself and I'm enjoying it. At the same time, I'm not attached to that either. I love it. And I'm just okay. So if somebody wants to do that, all what do, I'm very happy with a human being as well. Because in reality, I cannot take absolutely anything from this world. And I'm not even my body cannot take it seriously. So what to worry about? To enjoy all of it. Really, all your heart was all your heart. That's what I just asking myself every time what was the best, what rich Aisha would do, or the Aisha who is like absolutely everything in the world, what would do. She would go and experiences this experience. She would go to this country or that country. Oh no, does she really want to do that? Oh no, if I would have all the money in the world, what I would have created now. Just go and do it. Not speaking. Like when I'm thinking, like I have all of it. You get to practice and you really get to do that. You have opportunity each day, thousands, billions of opportunities to present this process itself. Especially with social media, so many opportunities. You get to just look at it. So much to do. And we have this 24 hours. We got to be mindful how we want to use this 24 hours. Today I was in a way on my road trip. I was editing my book, my second book. And maybe was sitting and whatever doing Instagram, doing their stuff. I'm just sitting in the slowly my book. It's something that I think it's matter for me. So I'm just feeling like sometimes be more aware what you're doing, the way you're spending your time. Yes, I've been also some zombie looking at my Instagram, spending hundreds of hours. At the same time, I use it as a way to learn to how the social media works. Because for me, Instagram has algorithms. I don't like it. Don't put some people who actually have the great potential and have the great message. And they don't maybe have money promote themselves. And at any other platforms, they just want to make money. And they don't think about the message. They just think about the profit.
I love how you mentioned how are you spending your 24 hours? Like, time is the only thing we can't get back. Time is the only thing we can't buy. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the world. Like, you can't buy more time. It's a clock ticking that we can't see. So what's important to you? What's most valuable to you? And I think even as Aisha mentioned, getting quiet and figuring that out, putting the distractions away a little bit is a really great way to start to uncover that. I really appreciate you speaking with me. I really enjoyed this. Have you heard of a man named Jay Shetty?
Yes, of course.
Some people haven't, and it surprises me, to be honest. So I'm a big fan of him. I love him. He ends his podcast on purpose with 2 segments, and I end my podcast with those 2 segments as well. The first segment is the many sides to us, and there's 5 questions that need to be answered in 1 word each.
Well,
what is 1 word someone who is meeting you for the first time would use to describe you as?
youthful.
What is one word that someone who knows you extremely well would use to describe you as?
Happy.
What is one word you'd use to describe yourself?
Joyful.
What is one word that if someone didn't like you or agree with your mindset would use to describe you as?
Annoying.
What is one word you're trying to embody right now?
Alignment. A commitment. Like like alignment. Commitment. Alignment. Also the correct word.
Second segment is the final 5, and these can be answered in up to a sentence. What is the best advice you've heard or received?
If you can dream it, you can do it. By Walt Disney.
Why is that the best advice?
I think in a mastery, it's like when we have a dream, it's a way to achieve it, to create it. Yeah, I swear, like if you dream it, do it. And what like what Walt Disney created. We have a world, like we have Disney World, so many different parts of the world. Like,
What is the worst advice you've heard or received?
I think it's from the people who hasn't done so much in the life, probably like listening to others instead of listening to yourself.
What is something that you used to value that you no longer value?
Probably the playfulness, or like patience, or the patience would be better. I still value the patience, the playfulness.
If you
Also,
Sorry, what was that?
like, it's not easy. I actually value the things that I still not with all the things that I've created so far. Like can you give me some examples? So it's easy to like do things through.
Some examples of
With I don't value part with I don't think of right now.
mm, like I've heard so many different types of answers. Anything from sometimes material things, sometimes maybe alcohol you don't know.
Well, yeah, it's true. I would say smoking weed or like smoking cannabis. I don't do that anymore. It doesn't create such value in my life.
If you could, what was that?
Can it be like that I don't smoke weed anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could describe what you would want your legacy to be, as if someone was reading it, what would you want it to say?
She lived it to the fullest and she achieved all her dreams.
If you could create one law in the world that everyone had to follow, what would it be? And I want to know why.
Joyful living! Why? Because I believe when we are in a joyful state, we always have so much to give and to create. That's how it goes. The joy is very powerful, like tool, and people don't use it so much.
That's true. That is so true. Thank you so much, Aisha. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much. It was actually very deep and grounding.
I'm glad. I'm so glad to hear that. And I do like to give it back to the guest. Do you have any final words of wisdom? Anything else you want to share with the listener?
Live your dreams to the fullest. Have as many dreams as possible because all of them can be true and real during this lifetime. And also travel as much as give yourselves permission and opportunity find a way to travel, but special now, simple ways. So always looking for solutions and be example for others. Joyfully make namaste.
I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And I would like to appreciate your time, and I would like to you did amazing by creating this podcast and continue to do it, continue to motivate, inspire, and be full of joy that you are.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Manders Mindset.
In case no one told you today, I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. And you got this. As always, if you enjoyed the show, I would really appreciate it if you would leave me a 5-star rating, leave a review, and share it with anyone you think would benefit from this. And don't forget, you are only one mindset shift away from shifting your life. Thanks, guys. Until next time.